शंकर जी की जटा से निकले निर्मल गंगा पानी। कोई कहे तुझे गंगा माता, कोई कहे महारानी। शंकर जी की जटा से निकले निर्मल गंगा पानी। कोई कहे तुझे गंगा माता, कोई कहे महारानी, कोई कहे महारानी। तोहे निश्चय फूल चढ़ाए जो तेरी आरती गावे, वो सुख शांति पावे जो तेरी आरती गावे। जय जय गंगा माता जो तेरी आरती गावे, वो सुख शांति पावे जो तेरी आरती गावे। हर हर गंगे जय माँ गंगे, हर हर गंगे जय माँ गंगे, हर हर गंगे जय माँ गंगे, हर हर गंगे जय माँ गंगे। ओम जय गंगे माता, श्री जय गंगे माता। जो नर तुझको ध्याता, जो नर तुझको ध्याता, मन वांछित फल पाता। ओम जय गंगे माता, जय गंगे माता, श्री जय गंगे माता। जो नर तुझको ध्याता, जो नर तुझको ध्याता, मन वांछित फल पाता। ओम जय गंगे माता। चंद्र सी ज्योत तुम्हारी, जल निर्मल आता। मैया जल निर्मल आता। शरण पड़े जो तेरी, शरण पड़े जो तेरी, सोनर तर जाता। ओम जय गंगे माता। पुत्र सगर के तारे, सब जग को ज्ञाता। मैया सब जग को ज्ञाता। कृपा दृष्टि तुम्हारी, कृपा दृष्टि तुम्हारी, त्रिभुवन सुखदाता। ओम जय गंगे माता। एक ही बार जो तेरी के त्रास मिटाकर, यम के त्रास मिटाकर परम गति पाता। ओम जय गंगे माता। आरती मात तुम्हारी, जो जन नित गाता, मैया जो जन नित गाता। दास वही सहज में, दास वही सहज में मुक्ति को पाता। ओम जय गंगे माता। ओम जय गंगे माता। श्री जय गंगे माता। जो नर तुझको ध्याता, जो नर तुझको ध्याता, मन वांछित फल पाता। ओम जय गंगे माता। जय गंगे माता। श्री जय गंगे माता। जो नर तुझको ध्याता, जो नर तुझको ध्याता, मन वांछित फल पाता। ओम जय गंगे माता। ओम जय गंगे माता। ओम जय गंगे माता। ओम जय गंगे माता। ओम श्री सद्गुरु परमात्मने नमः। ओम श्री सद्गुरु परमात्मने नमः। ओम श्री सद्गुरु भगवान शिवानंदाय नमः। ओम श्री सद्गुरु भगवान शिवानंदाय नमः। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुदेवो महेश्वरः। गुरु साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। ज्ञानमूलं गुरोर्मूर्ति, पूजामूलं गुरोर्पदं, मंत्रमूलं गुरोर्वाक्यं, मोक्षमूलं गुरोर्कृपा। मोक्षमूलं शिवानन्दाकृपा। ब्रह्मानन्दं परमसुखदं केवलं ज्ञानमूर्तिं, द्वन्द्वातीतं गगनसदृशं तत्त्वमस्यादिलक्ष्यम्। एकं नित्यं विमलमचलं सर्वदी साक्षिभूतं, भावातीतं त्रिगुणरहितं सद्गुरुं तं नमामि। यस्यान्तर्नादिमध्यं न हि करचरणं, नाम गोत्रं न सूत्रं, नो जातिर्नैव वर्णं, न भवति पुरुषो नो नपुंसं न च स्त्री। नाकारं नो विकारं, न हि जननमरणं, नास्ति पुण्यं न पापं, नो तत्त्वं तत्त्वमेकं सहजसमरसं सद्गुरुं तं नमामि। चैतन्यं शाश्वतं शान्तं व्योमातीतं निरञ्जनं, नादबिन्दुकलातीतं तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। अज्ञानमूलहरणं जन्मकर्मनिवारणं ज्ञानवैराग्यसिद्ध्यार्थं गुरुपादोदकं पिबेत्। अखण्डमण्डलाकारं व्याप्तं येन चराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। ॐ नमः शिवाय गुरवे सच्चिदानन्दमूर्तये निष्प्रपञ्चाय शान्ताय निरालम्बाय तेजसे नित्यशुद्धं निराभासं निराकारं निरञ्जनं नित्यबोधं चिदानन्दं गुरु ब्रह्मा नमाम्यहम्। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। निधये सर्वविद्यानां विषजे भवरोगिणां गुरवे सर्वलोकानां श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ॐ श्री सद्गुरुदेव की जय।
जय गणेश जय गणेश जय गणेश पाहि मां।
श्री गणेश श्री गणेश श्री गणेश रक्ष मां। जय सरस्वती जय सरस्वती जय सरस्वती पाहि मां। श्री सरस्वती श्री सरस्वती श्री सरस्वती रक्ष मां। जय श्री दुर्गा जय श्री दुर्गा जय श्री दुर्गा पाहि मां। जय श्री दुर्गा जय श्री दुर्गा जय श्री दुर्गा रक्ष मां। जय श्री काली जय श्री काली जय श्री काली पाहि मां। जय श्री काली जय श्री काली जय श्री काली रक्ष मां। जय श्री लक्ष्मी जय श्री लक्ष्मी जय श्री लक्ष्मी पाहि मां। जय श्री लक्ष्मी जय श्री लक्ष्मी जय श्री लक्ष्मी रक्ष मां। सरवण भव सरवण भव सरवण भव पाहि मां। सुब्रह्मण्य 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 रक्ष मां। दत्तात्रेय 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 पाहि मां। दत्तगुरु 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 रक्ष मां। शिवानन्द 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 पाहि मां। शिवानन्द 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 रक्ष मां। जय गुरु शिव गुरु हरि गुरु राम। जगद्गुरु परम गुरु सद्गुरु श्याम। आदि गुरु अद्वैत गुरु आनंद गुरु ओम। चित गुरु चिन्मय गुरु चिन्मया गुरु ओम। जय सिया राम जय जय सिया राम। जय सिया राम जय जय सिया राम। जय राधे श्याम जय जय राधे श्याम। जय राधे श्याम जय जय राधे श्याम। जय हनुमान जय जय हनुमान। जय हनुमान जय जय हनुमान। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे। शिवानंदा शिवानंदा सद्गुरुनाथा। शिवानंदा 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 सद्गुरुनाथा। शिवानंदा 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 सद्गुरुनाथा। शिवानंदा। जय गुरुदेव दयानिधि दीन हितकारी। जय जय मोह विनाशक भवबन्धनहारी। जय देव गुरुदेव जय देव गुरुदेव। ब्रह्मा विष्णु सदा शिव गुरु मूर्तिधारी। वेद पुराण बखानत गुरु महिमा Jayadev Gurudev, Jayadev Gurudev. Japa tapa tirtha sanyama dhan virit deene, Guru bin jnaan n hove, bodhi jatan kine. Jayadev Gurudev, Jayadev Gurudev. Maya mohan di jal jeev bahe sari, naam jahan pita kar guru bal mein dhari. Jayadev Gurudev, Jayadev Gurudev. Kaam krodh mad matsar chor bade bhari, ज्ञान करक दे कर में गुरु सब संहारे. जयदेव गुरुदेव, जयदेव गुरुदेव. नाना पंथ जगत में निज निज गुण गावे, सबका सार बता कर गुरु मार्ग लावे. जयदेव गुरुदेव, जयदेव गुरुदेव. गुरु चरणामृत निर्मल सब बाधक हारी, वचन सुनत तम नाशे सब संशय तारी. जयदेव गुरुदेव, जयदेव गुरुदेव. तन मन धन सब अर्पण गुरु चरणन कीजे, शिवानंद परम पद मोक्ष गति लीजे. जयदेव गुरुदेव, जयदेव गुरुदेव. ओम जय गुरुदेव दयानिधि दीन हितकारी, जय जय मोह विनाशक भवबंधनहारी. जयदेव गुरुदेव, जयदेव गुरुदेव.
O adorable Lord of mercy and love, salutations and prostrations unto thee. Thou art omnipresent, omnipotent and omniscient. Thou art Satchidananda. Thou art the indweller of all beings. Grant us an understanding heart, equal vision, balanced mind, faith, devotion and wisdom. Grant us inner spiritual strength to resist temptations and to control the mind. Free us from egoism, lust, greed, anger and hatred. Fill our hearts with divine virtues. Let us behold Thee in all these names and forms. Let us serve Thee in all these names and forms. Let us ever remember Thee. Let us be ever loyal to Thee. Let us ever sing Thy glories. Let Thy name be ever on our lips. Let us abide in Thee forever and ever. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. O all-merciful Gurudev, every thought of my mind, every emotion of my heart, every movement of my being, every feeling and every sensation, each cell of my body, each drop of my blood, all is yours, Gurudev, yours absolutely, yours without any reserve. Gurudev, you can decide my life or my death, my happiness or my sorrow, my pleasure or my pain. Gurudev, whatever you do with me, whatever comes to me from you, will lead me to your lotus feet. Gurudev, You have provided us with the best facilities in the world for our spiritual growth. May we take full advantage of this precious gift of yours, Gurudev. May we look upon the ashram and all its contents as your body and treat them with love and reverence. This is our heartfelt prayer to you, Gurudev. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
Sivananda Dinabandhu Pahima Deva Deva Sivananda Dinabandhu Pahima Chandravadana Mandahasa Premarupa Rakshama Chandravadana Mandahasa Premarupa Rakshama Madhura Gita Ganalola Jnanarupa Pahima Madhura Gita Ganalola Jnanarupa Pahima Samastaloka Pujitaya Mohananga Rakshama Samastaloka Pujitaya Mohananga Rakshama Vidya Ganga Tiravasa Dhanashila Pahima Vidya Ganga Tiravasa Dhanashila Pahima Papaharana Punyashila Parma Purusha Rakshama Papaharana Punyashila Parma Purusha Rakshama Bhakta Yoga Hridayavasa Swami Nada Pahima Bhakta Yoga Hridayavasa Swami Nada Pahima Chitsvarupa Chidananda Namah Shivaya Rakshama Chitsvarupa Chidananda Namah Shivaya Rakshama Shivananda 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 Pahima Shivananda 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 Pahima Shivananda 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 Rakshama Shivananda 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 Rakshama Satguru Jaya Satguru Jaya Satguru Jaya Pahima Satguru Jaya Satguru Jaya Satguru Jaya Pahima Satguru Jaya Satguru Jaya Satguru Jaya Rakshama Satguru Jaya Satguru Jaya Satguru Jaya Rakshama Ganga Arati Ganga Arati Ganga Arati Pahima Ganga Arati Ganga Arati Ganga Arati Pahima Bhagirati 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 Rakshama Bhagirati 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 Rakshama Deva Deva शिवानन्दा दीनबन्धो पाहि मां देवदेवा शिवानन्दा दीनबन्धो पाहि मां चन्द्रवदना मन्दहास प्रेमरूपा रक्ष मां चन्द्रवदना मन्दहास प्रेमरूपा रक्ष मां।
श्री राम जय जय राम
श्री राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय जय राम भगवान शिवानंद जय जय राम भगवान शिवानंद जय जय राम श्री राम जय जय राम भगवान शिवानंद जय जय राम भगवान शिवानंद जय जय राम श्री राम जय जय राम भगवान शिवानंद जय जय राम भगवान शिवानंद जय जय राम श्री राम जय जय राम भगवान शिवानंद जय जय राम भगवान शिवानंद जय जय राम श्री राम जय जय राम भगवान शिवानंद जय जय राम भगवान शिवानंद जय जय राम श्री राम जय जय राम भगवान शिवानंद जय जय राम भगवान शिवानंद जय जय राम श्री राम 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 जय जय राम।
रामचंद्र कृपालु भज मन हरण भव भय दारुणम्
नवकंज लोचन कंज मुख करकंज पाद कंजारुणम्
श्री रामचंद्र कृपालु भज मन हरण भव छवि नवनीर नीरज सुंदरम
पटगीत मानहुतारित रुचि सुचि नौमि जनक सुतावरम
श्री रामचंद्र कृपालु भजमन हरण भव भय दारुणम श्री राम
भजो दीनबन्धु दीनेश दानव दैत्यवंश निकन्दनं
भज दीनबन्धु दीनेश दानव दैत्यवंश निकन्दनं
रघुनन्द आनन्द कन्द कौशल चन्द दशरथ नन्दनं
श्री रामचंद्र कृपालु भजमन हरण भव भय दारुणम श्री राम
शिरमुकुट कुण्डल तिलक चारु उदारयङ्ग विभूषणं
शिरमुकुट कुण्डल तिलक चारु उदारयङ्ग विभूषणम्
आजानुभुज शरचापधर सङ्ग्राम जितखर दूषणं
श्री रामचंद्र कृपालु भजमन हरण भव भय दारुणम श्री राम
इति वदति तुलसीदास शङ्कर शेषमुनिमन रञ्जनम्
इति वदति तुलसीदास शङ्कर शेषमुनिमनोरञ्जनम्
मम हृदय कञ्जनिवास कुरु कामादि कलदलगञ्जनम्
श्री रामचंद्र कृपालु भजमन हरण भव भय दारुणम श्री रामचंद्र कृपालु भजमन हरण भव भय दारुणम श्री राम श्री राम श्री राम श्री राम श्री राम श्री राम
ज्योतसे ज्योत जगाते चलो ज्योतसे ज्योत जगाते चलो
प्रेम की गंगा बहाते चलो प्रेम की गंगा बहाते चलो ज्योत ज्योत से ज्योत जगाते चलो, ज्योत से ज्योत जगाते चलो, प्रेम की गंगा बहाते चलो, प्रेम की गंगा बहाते चलो। राह में आए जो दीन दुखी, राह में आए जो दीन दुखी, सबको गले से लगा के चलो, प्रेम की गंगा बहाते चलो। ज्योत से ज्योत जगाते चलो, ज्योत से ज्योत जगाते चलो, प्रेम की गंगा बहाते चलो, प्रेम की गंगा बहाते चलो। जिसका न कोई संगी साथी, ईश्वर है रखवाला, जिसका न कोई संगी साथी, ईश्वर है रखवाला। जो निर्धन है, जो निर्बल है, वो है प्रभु का प्यारा। जो निर्धन है, जो निर्बल है, वो है प्रभु का प्यारा। प्यार का मोती प्यार का मोती उठाते चलो, प्रेम की गंगा बहाते चलो, प्रेम की गंगा बहाते चलो। ज्योत से ज्योत जगाते चलो, ज्योत से ज्योत जगाते चलो, प्रेम की गंगा बहाते चलो, प्रेम की गंगा बहाते चलो। आशा टूटी, ममता रूठी, छूट गया है किनारा। आशा टूटी, ममता रूठी, छूट गया है किनारा। बंद करो मत द्वार दया का, दे दो मुझको सहारा। बंद करो मत द्वार दया का, दे दो मुझको सहारा। दीप दया का दीप दया का जलाते चलो, प्रेम की गंगा बहाते चलो, प्रेम की गंगा बहाते चलो। ज्योत से ज्योत जगाते चलो, ज्योत से ज्योत जगाते चलो, प्रेम की गंगा बहाते चलो, प्रेम की गंगा बहाते सब सुखदान रामा सेवक सब सुखदान सत समाज सुरलोक सब कौन सुने अस जान रामा कौन सुने अस जान सियावर रामचंद्र कर जय शरण शंकर हरि ओम जय जय सिया राम सियावर रामचंद्र की जय पवन सुत हनुमान की जय।
Om Namo Bhagavate Sivanandaya. On behalf of our Divine Master, Sri Swami Sivananda and Pujya Swami Sahajananda, we extend a warm and a cordial welcome to all to this most auspicious 96th birth anniversary Satsang of beloved Pujya Swami Sahajananda. We also extend a special welcome to donors, well-wishers, devotees tuning in for the first time, and those from abroad. Om Namo Bhagavate Sivanandaya. Message from the Board of Management on the occasion of Pujya Swami Sahajananda's 96th birth anniversary, 10th July 2021. On this, the 96th birth anniversary of Pujya Swami Sahajananda, we pay reverence and homage to our Divine Master, Sri Swami Sivananda, for the most precious gift bestowed on South Africa, Pujya Swami Sahajananda. We thank Pujya Swamiji for his unparalleled contributions to this country as spiritual head of the society. Pujya Swamiji's contributions to Hinduism in South Africa and humanitarian initiatives in the country are unparalleled in South African history. Pujya Swamiji set the foundation and commenced magnanimous and sterling work in the promotion of our glorious Hindu Dharma based on the writings of Sri Swami Sivananda, printing and distributing the Master's teachings with silent excellence, building of schools, creches, a hospital, projects for poverty alleviation, and assistance to Hindu temples and poor feeding. His visionary leadership in establishing the unique Sivananda Ghat, the Sunlit Path Schools program to assist learners cope with drug addiction and social ills, construction of schools, poor feeding programs, grocery hamper distributions to the needy, our clinics, and the numerous educational, social, and humanitarian initiatives, yoga camps, Sivananda Day Satsangs, our beautiful ashrams and satsangs are praiseworthy indeed. The bedrock foundation established by Pujya Swamiji is continuing with unabated enthusiasm and devotion by devotees of the society, even after Pujya Swamiji's Maha Samadhi in December 2007. Such was Pujya Swamiji's sincere, silent, selfless, and dynamic leadership. We find comfort in Sri Gurudev's assurance in two handwritten letters in which he stated, and I quote, "God will look after the divine work, Lord will look after everything," unquote. We are pleased to report that since Pujya Swamiji's Maha Samadhi, both the spiritual and social service activities of the society are progressing at a steady pace. There is no doubt that our Divine Master, Sri Swami Sivananda, is inspiring, guiding, and looking after his mission in South Africa. The total number of poverty alleviation projects to date are 616. The number of tune-ins to our online satsangs, yoga camps, and programs during the lockdown from April 2020 to the end of June 2021 is 172,190. This is testament to Sri Gurudev's own words, which Mother Hirdayananda related in 1985, and I quote, "My favorite disciples are in South Africa. Even if my mission fails elsewhere, in South Africa it will not. God Himself is looking after work there," unquote. In respect of his first contact with Sri Gurudev's teachings, Pujya Swamiji in an audio recording says, and I quote, "I did not turn to the spiritual path because I wanted God. My mind had deteriorated so much that it was impossible to describe. The intellect was there, but the distraction was tremendous. I wanted to find out how to control the mind. Perhaps the samskaras in the previous birth were surging up. The mind was uncontrollable, And that is how I was looking for a remedy that will help me to control the mind, not knowing that there is a state called God realization. Somewhere I read in theosophical books that if you want to succeed, then you will have to find a guru. So I said I must try to find a guru. If I find a guru, he must be the best guru in the world, nothing less than that. I went to a Vedic bookshop in Prince Edward Street, Durban. I picked up Gurudev's book. It was called Practice of Karma Yoga. The moment I touched that book, I knew that it is the guru I was looking for. Unquote. The great faith and devotion that Pujya Swamiji had in the Divine Master was second to none. He did not question the Master, but carried out his instructions implicitly. It is this faith, devotion, loyalty, and obedience that contributed to the growth of the society. It is this faith, devotion, loyalty, and obedience that we should all aspire for. During these difficult and uncertain times, especially of the coronavirus pandemic, let us find comfort and direction in Gurudev and Pujya Swamiji's words of wisdom. On prayer, Sri Swami Sivananda says, and I quote, "At times, even sincere prayer is not responded to. This, however, should never be allowed to mar our faith or sincerity or to discourage and depress us, but should be considered as a necessity to test our sincerity, our serenity, and faith in God. At times, this irresponse is often repeated. The devotee gets bewildered. He begins to lose faith in God, and sometimes he is diverted from the path. Indeed, it is here that we show our patience, our steadfastness, and faith in His grace. Often, God tests us with His severest of trials. But does it mean that He is unkind? He does not wish to pay heed to our prayers? Obviously not. It is only a test which the aspirant must pass through. His faith may not be strong enough. His dross of mind may not be cleaned yet. His heart might not even become pure yet. How can he strengthen his faith? How can he cleanse the dross of his mind and purify his heart? It is only through tests, trials, and tribulations. Just as gold is purified by passing it through the crucible several times, so also the heart must become pure. The faith must become unflinching by passing through the crucible of trials again and again. But at the ultimate end, all prayers are fulfilled and gratified with the highest fulfillment. Therefore, when we pray to God or wish to receive grace from Him, we must be prepared to accept joyfully His irresponse and even trials and tribulations. On the power of the divine name, Pujya Swamiji says, and I quote, "We worry about the little things instead of clinging to God's name. We worry about all the little things, so we must divert the mind from there. Bring it back to God, and the problem that is confronting us will settle itself. The divine power from the name will get that problem settled. So, our whole aim, our whole duty, first and foremost duty, is to take the divine name. Try to make it as continuous as possible. The more continuous you make it, you can be quite sure that the divine grace is working actively. Regardless of your mental condition, whether you have worries or whether bad thoughts are coming, that is not so important at the time. If the name is going on continuously, you can be quite sure that higher divine grace is working actively. So that is the message. Take the divine name and see the results, especially in these troubled times." Unquote. On this, the 96th birth anniversary of Pujya Swami Sahajananda, we remind devotees that we are in the midst of our divine decade, leading up to Pujya Swamiji's 100th birth anniversary or birth centenary in 2025. What is the best gift we can offer Pujya Swamiji? We urge all devotees to continue intensifying their sadhana of Nama Japa and Diki Japa, which will be fit offering to our Divine Father in 2025. It is not too late for those who have not yet commenced with this sadhana. We express our sincere thanks to all devotees, donors, patrons, and well-wishers for their contribution, support, and guidance at all times, and wish all peace, protection, and divine illumination. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
Om Namo Bhagavate Shivanandaya. Today's reading is entitled An Unforgettable Saint of South Africa by Santhanagopal of the Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan, Mumbai, India. About 2 years ago, I visited Durban in South Africa. In and around Durban lives the largest number of migrant Indians in the world. It is there that I came across a person who shattered my skepticism about spiritual leaders. Here was a person who turned out to be a saint in every sense of the term. A more selfless, self-effacing person is hard to find. I found him to be a person who brought dignity to the simple dress of sannyasi, a monk, that he wore. He is Swami Sahajananda, founder-president of the Divine Life Society of South Africa, and friend, philosopher, guide, and guru to thousands of his disciples spread all over South Africa. I found mighty men and women, persons who wielded enormous power, influential and wealthy among his disciples. I found them to be incredibly mixing with everyone when they participated in the various welfare and building activities, cheerfully digging, carrying loads and other forms of physical labor, without a word from Swamiji to do so. There is hardly anything distinguishing about the person of Swamiji. He can easily merge himself with even a small crowd without being noticed. His voice is soft, just audible. When he spoke, however, people heard him with rapt attention. His habits are simple. His personal needs are minimal. Most of the time, he slept among the printing machines in his press room on the cold floor, with hardly anything to protect him. He is simplicity itself and shy to the core. There are many who have similar traits and attributes. What makes him different, and where does the saintliness come from? His eminence stems from and shines in brilliant incandescence, not from what he has been saying, but from what he has been doing, silently, unobtrusively, always in the name of his Guru, Swami Shivananda, whom he always refers to reverentially as my Divine Master. Swami Sahajananda's surrender to his Guru is absolute and total. He lives, breathes, eats, sleeps, and does everything else, all in the name of his Divine Master. He has indeed surrendered to his Guru, his mind, body, and spirit. Such Guru Bhakti, devotion to the Guru, in the 21st century is an incredible phenomenon. Swamiji is a prolific writer. In simple layman's language, he gently spoon-feeds members of his congregation. He never sermonizes to the learned and the scholarly. He would orient his messages, either in writing or through speech, to the person with the weakest power of comprehension. He always helps people, even those who bite the hand that feeds. He brings to mind the story of the sage and the scorpion. A sage found a scorpion struggling for life in a puddle of water on the road. He stopped to pick it and drop it on firm ground, and was promptly stung on the hand. He again tried to pick it, and was stung right away. He tried many times to save it, but was stung every time he picked it up. A passerby who was watching what was happening asked the sage, "Why do you try to help it when it is stinging you every time?" The sage replied, "It is the nature of the scorpion to sting, and it is my nature to try and save it." Swami Sahajananda has reached a stage where he is capable of only compassion and kindness for every living organism that shares the earth with humankind. During the apartheid days in South Africa, the ruling whites kept the blacks, the immigrant Indian labor, and the whites segregated. They especially kept the blacks under their boots. The Indians built for their children schools and educated them. The blacks were too poor, and what is more, they were discouraged from building schools. Even in such atmosphere, Swami Sahajananda built several schools for educating black children, and he had to face enormous difficulties in his effort. His pioneering efforts to help people without any distinction of caste, color, religion, or race has made a tremendous impact, and many others are emulating him. His heart is so large that whenever he came across anyone trying to do such good work, he would immediately extend to him generous financial and other support, insisting all the while that the name of the Divine Life Society and himself should not be mentioned at all. When Nelson Mandela became the President of South Africa, it raised hopes of the black people too much, and they expected things to happen too soon. There was chaos. Many Africans of Indian origin felt insecure and migrated to other lands. Concerned over the drain of talent, Nelson Mandela chided the Indian Africans for their lack of roots and for their cowardice in deserting the land of their birth. In a nationwide radio broadcast, he asked people to look at the example set by Swami Sahajananda and the Divine Life Society of South Africa, who started to engage themselves in nation-building activities even before the advent of democracy. Swamiji's only motive was to help that section of the society which needed help the most. Swamiji's disciples adore him. They pour their affection, regard, and money in great abundance. Swamiji can easily afford to build great ashrams of opulence, grandeur, and luxury, like many ashrams in India and abroad. Swamiji's ashrams are simple and functional and absolutely clean and neat. There is never any extravagance or show. One can easily see divinity in the place and the people and in their actions, all unobtrusively guided by this incredible saint who does everything in the name of his Divine Master. I am afraid to salute him, because I know that he would immediately prostrate towards me. If the rains fall, if the flowers bloom, if the birds sing, if children smile in happiness and in innocence, I know why. It is because there are persons like Swami Sahajananda living amongst us for our own sake. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
If you have habits that are not very good and you find it difficult, let them be there. See, but if you continue your sadhana, you'll find it will go away by itself. See, instead of fighting the wrong habits. But certain things you must try to control. When I first read Gurudev's books, I was very ambitious in my school work. In Sasti College, I was coming out first in metric class, and after we did the T3 exam, I was also coming out first. And then, because I didn't do as well as I expected, I got disgusted, and I didn't take the bursary that they offered me to go to Forte to do my BSc. And I said, I'll do teaching, and then I'll do my courses privately. And I got all the courses from the university and started my studies. But the moment I read Gurudev's books, the first thing I did, I bundled my lectures. I sent it away. I said, no more. If this is the goal of life, if the goal of life is to realize God, what have I got to do with degrees? So overnight I gave up everything, my sports, soccer and swimming and tennis that I loved so much. For hours and hours and hours we'll be spending time in studying also. And I gave it up in one night. So I'm asking you now, if I can do that, then at least you can do something. Gurudev gave up everything, and when he came home, in the early books they didn't want to mention that. But in the later books they mentioned it, how Gurudev, when he came to his home in Pattamade, and he was standing outside and offloading the goods, he bolted away. He didn't even come inside the house because his one burning desire was for God. Same with Swami Ram Das, Mother Krishna Bai. See, all the great saints were like that. But we can't all, I don't say everyone must do what I've done, but at least you can make some effort. As years go by, 1 or 2 or 3 years go, you must be able to give up and say, you have reduced your desires. Because there's no end to it. There's no harm in getting the best education, but if you have all the emphasis on that, then you're losing out. You're missing the goal. Now why do we want to realize God? That is the question. Is it because we want to get rid of sorrow or something, or the pain and sorrow? No, that's only a negative side. We want to realize God because the bliss is so great and so marvelous that the human brain cannot comprehend it. People talk about God realization, or many of the Swamis write, or Gurubhais also, or that you must close your eyes and you must just watch the thoughts and the mind will be silent, and that's it. But that is not enough. It might be a negative state, but God's bliss is a positive state. See? It's such a marvelous experience that you cannot comprehend it with the mind. If Gurudev didn't give me these experiences, I wouldn't be able to tell you that there is such an experience. But the human mind can never describe it. That's what they say, it is bliss absolute. They use the word absolute because it's not relative at all. See? And when you experience this plane, the first thing that strikes you is ever new, see? Ever fresh and ever new. There's no monotony in it. For example, if you have the first ice cream, it's very tasty. Second one is also tasty. But third and fourth one, you get disgusted. But in God's experience, it's ever new and ever fresh. But the bliss is beyond human comprehension. See? You enjoy it from head to foot. And that's why I said, even the people who have the NDE experience, NDE means near-death experiences, they don't want to come back. See, they get angry with the doctor for reviving the body. All that they see, because they see a few gardens and hear some celestial music, and it's so enchanting. But you can multiply that 1 million times, then you get God realization. See? So that is what we've got to achieve. See? What our Guru has attained, we have to attain that. So that is what we're aiming at. See? And when we get that, then we'll start giving it to others, and others will get a taste. As I said about this person was in the battlefield, he was enjoying supreme bliss because he was chanting the Maha mantra, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. See? And the sound is so sweet and so intoxicating. So Gurudev has said in several places in the book that God's name is ambrosia, and Gandhiji has also said that. So it's not that we're just saying God's name and we're going to get a little bit of peace of mind, or you get a little bit of peace of mind by coming to the ashram. It's not that. It's a tremendous positive state, a state that you cannot even describe. So whether you like it or not, you'll be forced to do it, because your soul is going to ask for it. Whatever you do, your soul is not going to be satisfied, because I look at myself, Gurudev has given me a good ashram with everything that I want. Whatever I wanted in printing machine is given, but still there's a tremendous dissatisfaction inside. People might not notice it, you might think that I'm absorbed, but still I feel that if Gurudev calls me tomorrow, I'll go without thinking twice. Because I know that there's all these things. Every day I tell myself that all this ashram, everything is perishable, because if you close your eyes and open it, it's gone. because time is only a mode in the mind. See? And I shudder when I see parents attached to the children, so tremendously attached to the children. See? Today, parents are tremendously attached. They don't give the children a freedom at all. See? To evolve. So children are cuddled too much. We are bound. Don't do this, don't go there, because something will happen. They lock the doors up. See? When the children are not getting an opportunity of developing certain qualities of courage. See, because parents are cuddling them too much. And they're cuddling them because of attachment. See, nowadays, I remember we were not cuddled at all. Our parents, we did whatever we want. We had to go and bring the cows. If there's a violent thunderstorm, we had to go. See? We had to go in dangerous places. See? Because our parents gave us a freedom, and that developed in us certain qualities which I find very useful now. But today, as I said, children have tremendous fear. They're not given a chance to be on their own. For example, if you try to be too health conscious, too hygiene conscious, then you will not be able to make the body develop a certain amount of resistance. Nowadays we had a lot of discipline, but we had a lot of freedom also. I don't remember ever my parents cuddling or liking anyone more or liking anyone less. We had a few rules and we had to observe it, and we had our duties to do. In those days, of course, everything was simple. Whatever was asked for us to do, we had to do it. We were bound to do it. Because obedience was the law in those days. Today it is not the law, it is different, but we find that our children are responding very well. I find that there's a great spiritual potentiality amongst our children. And I was waiting for this last phase of the work of the Divine Life Society to manifest itself. If you have listened to my talks over the last 5 or 6 years, I said a time will come when most of us will be doing spiritual practices, and that is the time that we have now. Because the Master has put us here for that purpose. And many of our adults are doing it, and our children are also starting. They made a start. See? And they're quite ready to take the plunge. Because if you don't take the plunge, see, if you're not willing to break your head, then you're not going to get the highest. If you want God, then you'll have to pay the price. In the beginning it's a little painful, but the end result is really marvelous. It's also helping them in many secret ways which Gurudev asked me not to ever reveal to anyone. See? So I will not do it, but there's a lot of potentialities. We have a very beautiful ashram. If you have been to the ashram at Ramasi, you'll see what we have developed there. But we have to remember that even though the ashram is valued at about 4 or 5 million rand, we have not built a place for the sake of pleasure. See? Because even that will go. If you close your eyes and open it, in 50 years' time it's finished and gone. But if you make the best use of it, see, and use it for sadhana and use it for inspiration, then you've made the very best use of everything. So you too, your soul is going to call. And when your soul calls, you'll find that you cannot resist it. See? You'll have to follow. And whatever the dangers are, see, whatever the impediments are, see, you'll find that God will help you to solve it. Because divine power is ever ready to help us. See? Because that is what we're here for. We're like a drop of water. See? And that drop of water has only one ambition, that is to reach the ocean. See? So whether we like it or not, we'll have to one day seek God. So why not do it now?
Giridhara Govindam Gopala Bhajo Murani Manohara Nandalala.
「 ला 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 नंदलाला भजो मुरली मनोहरा नंदलाला गिरिधर गोविंदम गोपाला भजो मुरली मनोहर नंदलाला गिरिधर गोविंदम गोपाला भजो मुरली मनोहर नंदलाला गिरिधर गोविंदम गोपाला भजो मुरली मनोहर नंदलाला सुरमुनिवर गण पूजित पादा सुरमुनिवर गण पूजित पादा नित्यानंद मुकुंद मुरारी सुरमुनिवर गण पूजित पादा नित्यानंद मुकुंद मुरारी गिरिधर गोविंदम गोपाला भजो मुरली मनोहर नंदलाला गिरिधर गोविंदम गोपाला भजो मुरली मनोहर नंदलाला भय विठला भक्तवत्सला भव भय विठला पाप विमोचन परमानंदा भक्तवत्सला भव भय विठला पाप विमोचन परमानंदा तुलवर नित्य शरण नरसिंहावतारा तुलवर नित्य शरण नरसिंहावतारा गोपालना मोहना जनार्दना तुलवर नित्य शरण नरसिंहावतारा गोपालना मोहना जनार्दना गिरिधर गोविंदम गोपाला भजो मुरली मनोहर नंदलाला गिरिधर गोविंदम गोपाला भजो मुरली मनोहर नंदलाला 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 मन की सुनाऊं, मन मंदिर में भगवान मैं तुझको बिठाऊं, मैं तुझको बिठाऊं। दुखियों के सहारे तुझे मन ढूंढ रहा है, ओ शंकर प्यारी तुझे मन ढूंढ रहा है, तुझे मन ढूंढ रहा है। बैठे हो कहाँ पर तुम, समाधि को लगाए बिन तेरी मेरी मैया, प्रभु मेरा बचाए, प्रभु मेरा बचाए। अब करो किनारे तुझे मन ढूंढ रहा है, ओ शंकर प्यारे तुझे मन ढूंढ रहा है, तुझे मन ढूंढ रहा है। गया दिल में तिहारो, अब दर्शन दिखाओ हमें ना रुलाओ, हमें ना रुलाओ। राजेश पुकारे तुझे मन ढूंढ रहा है, ओ शंकर प्यारे तुझे मन ढूंढ रहा है, तुझे मन ढूंढ रहा है। इतना तू बता दे कहाँ तू जाके छुपा है, ओ शंकर प्यारे तुझे मन ढूंढ रहा है, 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 तुझे मन ढूंढ रहा है। यशोमती मैया से बोले नंदलाला, राधा क्यों बोली मैं क्यों काला, राधा क्यों बोली मैं क्यों काला। बोली मुस्काती मैया बहन को बताया, बोली मुस्काती मैया बहन को बताया। तारी अंधियारी आगे रात में तू आया, लाडला कन्हैया में की मैया से बोले नंदलाला, राधा क्यों गोरी मैं क्यों काला, राधा क्यों गोरी मैं क्यों काला। मुस्काती मैया सुन मेरे प्यारे, बोली मुस्काती मैया सुन मेरे प्यारे, गोरी गोरी राधिका के नैन कजरारे, काली नैन वाली ने हो, काली नैन वाली ने ऐसा जादू डाला इसीलिए काला। यशोमती मैया से बोले नंदलाला, राधा क्यों गोरी मैं क्यों काला, राधा क्यों गोरी मैं क्यों काला। इतने में राधा प्यारी आई इकलाती, इतने में राधा प्यारी आई इकलाती, मैंने न जादू डाला कोई वर खाती, मैया कन्हैया तेरा हो, मैया कन्हैया तेरा जग से निराला इसीलिए काला। यशोमती मैया से बोले नंदलाला, राधा क्यों गोरी मैं क्यों काला, राधा क्यों गोरी मैं क्यों काला।
राम सियापति राम तुम्हारा नाम सुखों का धाम, जय जय राम राजा राम। राम सियापति राम तुम्हारा नाम सुखों का धाम, जय जय राम राजा राम। जय राम जय बोलो, जय सीताराम बोलो, जय राम। जय राम जय बोलो, जय सीताराम बोलो, जय राम। राम सियापति राम तुम्हारा नाम सुखों का धाम, जय जय राम राजा राम। राम सियापति राम तुम्हारा नाम सुखों का धाम, जय जय राम राजा राम। जय राम जय बोलो, जय सीताराम बोलो, जय राम। जय राम जय बोलो, जय सीताराम बोलो, जय राम। जाकी रही भावना जैसी, हो जाकी रही भावना जैसी, प्रभु मूरत पे गीत नैसी, मैं तो जपू अभिराम तुम्हारा नाम सुखों का धाम, जय जय राम राजा राम। राम सियापति राम तुम्हारा नाम सुखों का धाम, जय जय राम राजा राम। जय राम जय बोलो, जय सीताराम बोलो, जय राम। जय राम जय बोलो, जय सीताराम बोलो, जय राम। संकट में तू साथ रहे तो, ओ संकट में तू साथ रहे तो, सर पर तेरा हाथ रहे तो सब कुछ है आसान, तुम्हारा नाम सुखों का धाम, मुझे जय राम राजा राम। राम सियापति राम, तुम्हारा नाम सुखों का धाम, मुझे जय राम राजा राम। जय राम जय, बोलो जय सीताराम, बोलो जय राम। जय राम जय, बोलो जय सीताराम, बोलो जय राम। बिन सत्संग विवेक न होई, हो बिन सत्संग विवेक न होई। राम कृपा बिनु सुलभ न सोई, बसे हो बन के प्राण, तुम्हारा नाम सुखों का धाम, मुझे जय राम राजा राम। राम सियापति राम, तुम्हारा नाम सुखों का धाम, मुझे जय राम राजा राम। जय राम जय, बोलो जय सीताराम, बोलो जय राम। जय राम जय, बोलो जय सीताराम, बोलो जय राम। इस धरती के कण कण में तू, ओ इस धरती के कण कण में तू, आते जाते हर क्षण में तू, बसा है बन के प्राण, तुम्हारा नाम सुखों का धाम, मुझे जय राम राजा राम। राम सियापति राम, तुम्हारा नाम सुखों का धाम, मुझे जय राम राजा राम। जय राम जय, बोलो जय सीताराम, बोलो जय राम। जय राम जय, बोलो जय सीताराम, बोलो जय राम। एक रघुपूत सवा लखनाती, ओ एक रघुपूत सवा लखनाती। माखन घर दिया न बाती, एक तुम्ही धनवान, तुम्हारा नाम सुखों का धाम, मुझे जय राम राजा राम। राम सियापति राम, तुम्हारा नाम सुखों का धाम, मुझे जय राम राजा राम। जय राम जय, बोलो जय सीताराम, बोलो जय राम। जय राम जय, बोलो जय सीताराम, बोलो जय राम। दशरथ नंदन रघुकुल दीपक, ओ दशरथ नंदन रघुकुल दीपक। इस तन में है जीवन जब तक, मैं तो जपो अभिराम, तुम्हारा नाम सुखों का धाम, मुझे जय राम राजा राम। राम सियापति राम, तुम्हारा नाम सुखों का धाम, मुझे जय राम राजा राम। जय राम जय, बोलो जय सीताराम, बोलो जय राम। जय राम जय, बोलो जय सीताराम, बोलो जय महिमा गाए। हो तुलसी तेरी महिमा गाए, शिव भी तुझको शीश झुकाए। पूज्य तुझे हनुमान, तुम्हारा नाम सुखों का धाम। मुझे जय राम राजा राम, राम सियापति राम, तुम्हारा नाम सुखों का धाम। मुझे जय राम राजा राम। जय राम जय, बोलो जय सीता राम, बोलो जय राम। जय राम जय, बोलो जय सीता राम, बोलो जय राम। शुभ कर्मों के तुम संचालक हो, शुभ कर्मों के तुम संचालक। तुम करता हो, तुम ही पालक। मैं प्रभु नादान, तुम्हारा नाम सुखों का धाम। मुझे जय राम राजा राम, राम सियापति राम, तुम्हारा नाम सुखों का धाम। मुझे जय राम राजा राम। जय राम जय, बोलो जय सीता राम, बोलो जय राम। जय राम जय, बोलो जय सीता राम, बोलो जय राम। राम सियापति राम, तुम्हारा नाम सुखों का धाम। मुझे जय राम राजा राम, राम सियापति राम, तुम्हारा नाम सुखों का धाम। मुझे जय राम राजा राम। जय राम जय, बोलो जय सीता राम, बोलो जय राम। जय राम जय, बोलो जय सीता राम, बोलो जय राम।
Om Namo Bhagavate Sivanandaya. The following are our announcements. Call for mass prayer. In view of the third wave in the coronavirus pandemic, as well as for the good health of all, world peace and protection, Divine Life Society of South Africa is embarking on the following collective sadhana programs as of the 1st of July 2021. Devotees and all Hindus may engage in one or more of the following suggested prayers during the allotted hour. Akhanda chanting of the Maha Mrityunjaya mantra, Om Triambaka mantra, Om Shri Ram Jai Jai Ram mantra, Ramayan slokas, Bhagavad Gita slokas, or any mantra of choice, Shri Hanuman Chalisa recital, Akhanda bhajan and kirtan, at your convenience in the comfort of your home. Links will be sent out on our WhatsApp groups. We invite devotees and the public to join our online home satsangs via the links on our website. Please join us for the following important forthcoming online satsangs. Daily satsangs are being held from the 8th to the 14th of July during this most auspicious period as Sri Gurudev's grace flows in abundance during this auspicious time. Sri Gurudev's sacred 58th Maha Samadhi anniversary will be observed on Wednesday, 14th July 2021. There will be a morning sadhana program from 6 a.m. until 6:25 a.m. Ganga Arati is at 5:30 p.m. followed by Satsang. There will be Akhanda chanting from 5 a.m. until 5 p.m. Devotees are urged to join in chanting during one or more of the hourly sessions. Our yoga camp will be held on Sunday, 18th July 2021, with a home sadhana session from 6 a.m. until 9:45 a.m. Yoga camp lessons are from 10 a.m. until 10:45 a.m. Lesson topics are the power of affirmations and the glory of Agnihotra, the fires of heaven. Camp satsang is from 11 a.m. until 12 noon. The most auspicious Guru Purnima will be observed on Friday, 23rd July 2021. There will be a morning sadhana program from 6 a.m. until 6:25 a.m. Ganga Arati is at 5:30 p.m. followed by Satsang. There will be Akhanda chanting from 5 a.m. until 5 p.m. Devotees are urged to join the chanting during one or more of the hourly sessions. Divine Life Society of South Africa will be commencing with the 41-day recital of the Sri Hanuman Chalisa 11 times daily from Friday 30th July until the most auspicious 134th birth anniversary of our Divine Master Sri Swami Sivananda on 8 September 2021. We urge all to participate in this most important sadhana for individual and world peace, protection and happiness. Pledge forms may be completed on our website shivananda@dls.org.za. Branch heads are kindly requested to complete the composite list of devotees reciting the Sri Hanuman Chalisa and return the same to Secretary by Friday 23rd July 2021. Pledges will be offered at the shrine on the launch day of the 41-day Sri Hanuman Chalisa, that is Friday 30th July 2021. Divine Life Society of South Africa will be distributing 1,500 grocery hampers, each valued at approximately 350 rands, to the needy families during this auspicious Guru Purnima period in July. Devotees are encouraged to contribute towards this initiative via our fundraisers or via EFT. The Grocery Hamper initiative also forms part of our COVID-19 relief program. Due to the current pandemic being in its third wave in the country, our ashrams and branches remain closed until further notice. Devotees and visitors are respectively informed that visits to any of our ashrams or branches must be authorized by the Board of Management. We offer special prayers to all those who are ill, those who have lost loved ones, the departed, our frontline workers, and for world peace. We remind devotees to follow all COVID-19 protocol, guidelines, and the rules for lockdown so as to keep safe. Devotees and the public are reminded that if one is infected or has any symptoms, then one is required to please isolate and follow the doctor's advice. Pujya Swamiji has given elaborate descriptions in our books of the value of the Maha Mrityunjaya mantra, Agnihotra, and the Sri Hanuman Chalisa. Devotees are urged to continue with these practices regularly for their own safety and protection. Agnihotra will also help to bring rain. As per Pujya Swamiji's advice, the Maha Mrityunjaya mantra should be repeated all the time while driving. If one cannot repeat the mantra all the time, then repeat it as often as possible. It will help to prevent accidents, robberies, hijackings, and all other calamities. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
Om Namo Bhagavate Shivanandaya. 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 Om Triambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Vandanam Mrityorumukshyamamritat. 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 Om Triambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam उर्वारुकमिव बन्धनान् मृत्योर्मुक्ष्यमामृतात् ॐ त्र्यम्बकं यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् 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 उर्वारुकमिव बन्धनान् मृत्योर्मुक्ष्यमामृतात्
श्री सद्गुरुदेव की जय।
जय जय आरती विघ्न विनायक विघ्न विनायक श्री गणेशा जय जय आरती वेणुगोपाला वेणुगोपाला वेणुलोला भागविभूया नवनीतचोला जय जय आरती वेङ्कटरमणा वेङ्कटरमणा संकटहरणा सीताराम राधेश्याम जय जय आरती गौरी मनोहर भवानी शंकर सांब सदा शिव उमा महेश्वरा जय जय आरती राजराजेश्वरी राजराजेश्वरी त्रिपुर सुंदरी महासरस्वती महालक्ष्मी महाकाली महाशक्ति जय जय आरती अंजनेया अंजनेया हनुमंता जय जय आरती दत्तात्रेय दत्तात्रेय त्रिमूर्ति अवतारा जय जय आरती सद्गुरुनादा सद्गुरुनादा भगवान शिवानंद सद्गुरुनादा भगवान विश्वानंद जय जय आरती विघ्न विनायक ॐ सर्वेषां स्वस्ति भवतु सर्वेषां शान्ति भवतु सर्वेषां पूर्णं भवतु सर्वेषां मङ्गलं भवतु सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् ॐ असतो मा सत्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मामृतं गमय ॐ पूर्णमदा पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति
श्री सद्गुरु भगवान की जय।